But let's get to CrazyTown. They are my extended edition of CrazyTown. So let me preface this by saying none of these clips are edited in any way. This is exactly what he said, how it happened, where he said it, when he said it. So this is a good look back on a lot of our Crazy Towns we've had for Joe Biden over the last couple times. So here we go, CrazyTown extended edition, Joe Biden. Roll it, G. All right, Joe, come on.
You know, the rapidly rising I don't know. Why doesn't he just act like a president? That's a stupid way to say it.
You know, Donald Trump was asked
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I probably best I
don't know what I was going to say.
Look, tomorrow's Superstar Tuesday, and I want to thank you all. I tell you what, I'm rushing ahead, aren't I? I would eliminate the capital gains tax. I would raise the capital gains tax.
We choose unity over division. We choose science over fiction. We choose truth over facts. I commuted every single solitary day to Wilmington, Delaware, over 500 miles a day. 250 miles a day.
All right, Chuck, thank you very much.
All right, it's Chris, but anyway.
I just did Chris. No, I just did Chuck. I tell you what, man, these are back to back. Anyway, I just can't figure the guy. It's like watching a yo-yo. I shouldn't have said it that way. It's like watching.
It feels that way. I want to ask.
I'm coming directly to you for ask a quick favor. And I tell you what, I'm so darn proud. And those poor people who have lost, anyway. I've been here a number of times. Last time was, I think, all the way back in 2014, but I've been here before that. I love this place. Look, what's not to like about Vermont in terms of the beauty of it? And what a neat town.
If elected, you would turn 82 at the end of your first term. You'd be the oldest president in American history. Are you willing to commit American history?
American.
Yes.
We should make sure that we have no one going to jail for a drug offense. They go directly mandatory prison.
I would see to it for immediately moving toward, we're in fact in a position now that if in fact we dealt with mitigation across the board, just what we did in the last administration and before, leading to a standard that we provide efficiency for appliances. That saves billions of gallons of gasoline. I mean, billions of $2.3 billion worth of, $500 billion in savings and 2-point-something billion metric tons of CO2 going in the air. Electric vehicles, in fact, the biggest problem is you can't stop to charge. We should have charging stations along every interstate highway in the country. Yeah. You pay for it just like you did gasoline.
Sure.
But if you can do that with bicycles in town, and you can put a nickel, I'm serious. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. Make sure the kids hear words. A kid coming from a very poor school, a very poor background, will hear 4 million words fewer spoken by the time they get there.
What is that first issue for your presidency?
The first thing I would do is make sure that we defeat Donald Trump.
You've already done that.
You get a tax break for the racehorse. Why in God's name couldn't we provide an $8,000 tax credit for everybody who has child care costs? It would put 720 million women back in the workforce. 4 more years of Donald Trump will go down as an aberration. Hard to overcome the damage he's done, but we can overcome it. 8 more years of Donald Trump will change America in a fundamental way. The America we know will no longer exist.
By the way, this is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, they switched on me. This is my wife. This is my sister. They switched on me. I'm prepared to say that I have a record of over 40 years.
Yeah.
And that I'm going to beat Joe Biden.
No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman in anger other than in self-defense, and that's rarely ever occurs. And so we have to just change the culture, period, and keep punching at it and punching at it and punching at it. If you agree with me, go to Joe 30330 and help me in this fight. No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but you're... Why attack Sanders? Why? You're getting nervous, man. Calm down. It's okay. 150 million people have been killed since 2007 when Bernie voted to exempt the gun manufacturers from liability. There are probably anywhere from 10 to 15% of the people out there who are just not very good people. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by God. You know the thing. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
It's a long way into November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. I'm ready on day one after more than 3 years in office. Why isn't Donald Trump ready? Mr. President, wake up. Because we cannot get reelected. We cannot win this reelection. Excuse me, we can only reelect Donald Trump.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Holy. Oh, my God.
So,
where are the trolls? Where are the Biden trolls on social media right now?
So you can't win. He can't win. You just can't. You can't win being that stupid. You just can't. I'm sorry. The best one of the whole thing, gee, if you can find it in the middle, he says something about Winston Churchill. He said, the guy says to him, I had never seen that one till today. He says, that one right there, right after how good it is to be here in Vermont when he's in New Hampshire. Roll that right there.
At the end of your first term, you'd be the oldest president in American history.
Now listen.
Are you willing to commit American history?
American.
Yes.
American presidents. Got it.
Because the UK has presidents now.
Jesus.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know. And today I'm Joe Biden's wife, Joe Biden, or whatever he said. I just don't. I don't know. At some point, I mean, it's where is his wife? I guess she just feels like at this point she can't step in. I mean, this just. I mean, come on. If you went and tried to make a 5-minute montage like that you couldn't find another politician as crazy as some of them are and say crazy things. Maybe Pelosi a little bit, but you couldn't find 5 minutes of that. There's no other person you could do that with.
And you didn't even include the statement where he talked about Martin Luther King, the great Martin Luther King, compared to George Floyd.
Yeah, I didn't put that one in.
You kept that out.
And the kids rubbing his legs.
I didn't put that in. I mean, there's other times where he's in a different city or a different state, and he says he's in a different. I mean, there's other ones too, obviously.
Does that mean we'll get a part 2?
Well, yeah, I could probably do a part 2. I could probably do another 5 minutes.
He could probably cut it. He could probably cut it by the end of the show in between the commercial breaks.
I mean, it's just crazy. The one about the gasoline, you saving gasolines on the electronics or the appliances too. It was just
corn pop.
That was literally a minute of incoherent. I don't even know what he said.
Just babble. He was just. It goes right back to what Giuliani says. Where stupid people, some of them know not to say anything, others need to fill space. He fills space.
Yeah, he fills space with words where he shouldn't. It's just unbelievable. And to joke aside, I mean, he can't be the president and be in this state. This is why the American people deserve to see him on his own 2 feet. And he says he's all up for the debates, and I hope he is. I really hope he is. And they don't try to pull some nonsense with getting him out of it for whatever reason. Because we deserve to see exactly what he would be like in a Biden presidency, on his feet every day. Taking 2 hours of hopefully unscripted questions that he doesn't know, keep Donna Brazile away from the building, and we deserve to see him. And he deserves to get asked some questions. Some serious questions about the article I gave you the other day from Stanley Kurtz about what he wants to do in the suburbs. And does he stand for all of this, what's going on in the street? Does he condone it? Because he certainly hasn't condemned it. And we'll see who he picks for VP. I don't think it matters all that much. I think it's going to be Kamala Harris, but that's just me.
Yeah. You know what, Dame? I think we also got a kind of a sneak peek as to how he might do under pressure. I mean, look at what happened with Chris Wallace. He called him Chuck. I just did 2 of these back-to-back. 2? You did 2 back-to-back?
Yeah. I'll tell you the other thing I left out of that is speaking of being under pressure, on the debate stage with Cory Booker and Kamala Harris, he makes some statement about one African, I was supported by the only African-American woman only to be elected to Senate or something like that. And Cory Booker and Kamala Harris go, that's not true. And she goes, yeah, I'm the other one standing right here. Hello. And then she does this thing like, what is this guy talking about? I left that out. So, I mean, no, you can't be this out of it and this inarticulate and this slow on the draw and be the leader of the free world. You just can't do it. It's got to concern people. It's got to concern even people who support him. It has to. Now, I know that's not going to stop him from not voting for him, or maybe it'll just stop him from not voting. They're certainly not going to vote for Trump. But, I mean, I mean, for the good of the country, you can't look at him and say that you wouldn't be concerned that something happens.
Yeah, you're not looking at Joe Biden going, man, he excites me. He's my guy. Woo!
Yeah.
Can't wait for that train to come into town. Choo, choo.